You see, in not having an awareness of God, we seek a relationship with someone, and we find it has to be exclusive. A relationship of this means excluding a relationship of that. But when your bond is not with another physical person, but with God, and within, you no longer need this great love of your life person, physical person, to come into it. You have God. And you don't have to exclude anyone with God, because your God is concerned with the welfare of all. So you can be concerned with the welfare of all. I don't expect and want or need my God to be exclusively for me. He's continually and lovely enough with me and with all that he loves and cares for. So I don't require of him to be narrowly preoccupied with me. In fact, on the contrary, I'm concerned for those around me who have needs, want appreciation, want help, want understanding. I'm aware of that and want to meet it, and know that he wants to meet it. It's not that I'm going against him when I care for you, for instance, like this now. On the contrary, I feel I'm caring for you with its presence. It's something we're doing together, God and I, with you. Our love for each other, far from excluding God, actually utterly embraces God as central to the success of our relationship. You see, when I first considered, well, if I get married to my first wife, this is going to exclude the people I know, especially the girls I know. Because, of course, I was relating to the girls as sweetheart. I don't mean I had lots of girlfriends at the same time, but in some sense there were other girls, not just my wife-to-be, that I was relating to. And obviously I wouldn't be relating to them once I got married and, we settled down together in a home and so on and so forth. You no longer relate to single people as a single person yourself, but a married person who's accounted for. The relationship can't be sweetheart with this man because he's got a wife. I was reluctant to enter into this because I felt I care for these other people I know, especially girls, because, girls are attractive to a fella. I don't want to cast them off. So without realizing it, I needed, and I do mean without realizing it, I needed a relationship with God. That's what I was lacking. And then I could relate to all that needed help and kindness, and relate in the godly way, which is not, of course, being married to everybody or having an affair with everyone that comes along. It's not that. I was aware that when you had a girlfriend, suddenly you were preoccupied with the girlfriend and not with your fellow friends, your mates. They didn't see much of you. Oh, he's in love, isn't he? Suddenly he's no longer in their life. You let them down. But with God, you don't let anyone down, you see. You're not your relational needs are met. Okay, well, what about if you're married so that your physical needs are met, but you both know God, which was the bulk of the time, basically, usually, with the 3 people that I was married to in the course of my life. So you're always there to help others. If you like, your physical needs are met by your partner, or not met, but your relational needs are met by your partner. Even if you're not getting on with them in some general sense, they're meeting your relational needs. If the relationship really falls apart, of course, and they're withdrawing from you, they're preoccupied with other activities that exclude you in effect, then of course that's not the case. And we say the relationship's broken down. And you're back in that single situation where you need something else, unless the reality of God is very strong with you, which for me it was. But then you're tested when the wife leaves you, the partner goes. Is your relationship with God that strong so that, quite honestly, I want to say it's not too important? And on the contrary, you find it is majorly important, and that actually your relationship was very much with them, not so much with God. In other words, they were first in your life and not God. And that may seem very happy while it works, but it's precarious. I was going to say if or when, I'm not quite sure which to say, they choose to be preoccupied not with your relationship, then suddenly you're out in the cold, and, well, you have to be pretty efficient at resurrecting your godly life again, that your relationship really is with God, not with the transitory. Look, quite simply, there is no substitute for God. That's your true need. If you're getting by wonderfully at the minute because you're in love with man, a partner, you're at risk. I don't care if it works. Well, I do. I mean, it may be wonderful if it works for N years, as indeed my marriages did. 18 years, and 7 years or whatever. It's not clearly delimited, is it? It depends how good the relationship was. And in all 3 cases, it was variable at times, unhappily. It was very good too, most of the time, happily, but at risk. And you may ignore this risk. Well, you are experiencing a loving relationship, and that's good. But what's not good is you haven't got the relationship really with the one you need it with, which is God. He's second to, not first to. And for your happiness' sake and security, you don't want to do that. You want God to be the one you're truly devoted to. And then you can relate well and beautifully to those around you. Not just one partner. You can be helpful and kind and spend time with others, not devoting basically all your time to the person you love, so to speak, as if you weren't caring for the rest of the world. Now, of course, what normally happens is that you're married, hopefully you're both following something like the same God. You do care for other people, but they're in a completely different category to your partner. Well, it should be they're in a completely different category to God, your eternal partner. And then you will be free to relate as you should to those you meet and God brings to you and helps to teach you with and guide you. And that is the spiritual maturity. It's not the same as simply falling in love and being faithful to your marriage partner. Because the relationships of this world are transitory. And your great consolation and assurance is that you have a relationship that is eternal, not with someone in this world, but with God. And then your relationships in this world can follow accordingly. Bless you. Thank you, Dad. Yes, I do. I keep in the back of my mind, I have got, but the children of the kingdom of heaven neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels in heaven. They are neither given in marriage nor married. From Jesus' story. And it looks pretty close to that, doesn't it? I think it's wonderful, Lahiri's view that, and of course he was married, and so was Sri Yukteswar, wasn't he? He was already married. I don't know. Paramahansa wasn't, of course. Kriyananda, I think, was married at one or even two occasions. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I still have the words of Jesus in the back of my mind. I'm not happy with people that make a renunciate vow. Well, of course, Jesus' view is not to vow at all. We don't make vows. Let your yea be yea and your nay nay, and more than this cometh of evil. I mean, it's pretty specific. That doesn't mean to say just because it's very clear it's right, but could be, couldn't it? Shall we say I'm not clear on that? Jury's still out from my point of view. What I am clear on is you're at great risk if you don't love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind and strength, and have no other gods before me. I mean, the one that rescues you, and a wife can rescue you in your loneliness or your needs, but still you should treat her as yourself. That's not quite the same as saying marriage, is it? I don't know. What do you think? That's what's going to be important for you. And you might get it right. You might get it wrong. But I will trust, if I possibly can, that God will still put it right in His way. And perhaps it's a learning situation for you, as perhaps it has been for me. Bless you. Thank you, Dad.